So, you're in your final year of computer science. You've probably heard a lot about getting a job as a software development engineer, or SDE. Most of your friends are aiming for SDE1 roles. These are fantastic entry-level positions where you learn the ropes. But what if I told you there's a way to aim a little higher? What if you could skip the first step and jump straight to SDE2? It sounds a bit ambitious, I know. But it's totally possible, especially for those who are willing to put in some smart, focused effort. An SDE2, or Software Development Engineer 2, is not just an entry-level coder. This role is for someone who already shows a bit more maturity, independence, and a broader understanding of how software is built and maintained. Why should this even be on your radar? Well, the benefits are pretty significant. First, there's the compensation. SDE2 roles almost always come with a higher salary. To aim for an SDE2 role, companies want more than just a good coder. They want a well-rounded engineer. Coding is the foundation. You need to write clean, efficient code. Be proficient in at least one major programming language. Java, C++, Python, but that's just the ticket to the game. For an SDE2, code must be maintainable, readable, and well-tested. Think about variable naming. Think about function length. Think about code comments. It's the difference between a temporary shelter and a house with a solid foundation. Beyond code, know the broader tools and practices. Git for version control is non-negotiable. Create branches, merge code, resolve conflicts. If coding is the body of a software engineer, then data structures and algorithms, or DSA, are the heart and brain. You simply cannot get a good software engineering job at a top company without being exceptionally good at DSA. For an SDE2 role, the expectation is even higher. You won't just be asked to solve a problem, you'll be expected to solve it optimally and be able to discuss the trade-offs between different approaches. This is the single most important area to focus on during your preparation. It's the primary way companies test your problem-solving ability and fundamental CS knowledge. Don't underestimate its importance. Your journey should start with the basics. Make sure you have a rock-solid understanding of all the fundamental data structures. Arrays, linked lists, stacks, queues, hash tables, or hash maps trees. System design is often the biggest differentiator between an SDE1 and an SDE2 interview. While SDE1 candidates might get a few simple questions, SDE2 candidates are expected to handle a full-blown system design round. This is where you move from writing code to designing the entire system. Design Twitter's feed. Design a URL shortener like TinyURL designed the backend for Uber. The goal isn't to produce a perfect production-ready design in 45 minutes. The goal is to see how you think, handle ambiguity, make reasonable assumptions, structure a complex problem. So where do you even begin? It can feel incredibly intimidating. Understand the core building blocks of large-scale systems, load balancers, web servers. Understanding the difference between an SDE1 and an SDE2 is, honestly, super important. It helps you tailor your preparation and your interview answers. At its core, the difference comes down to scope. An SDE1 is typically given well-defined, small tasks. For example, their manager might say, "Here is a bug in the payment module. The bug is in this specific file, and I need you to fix it." The problem is narrow. The path to the solution is relatively clear. There's a lot of guidance. The SDE1's main job is to execute that task correctly. An SDE2, on the other hand, operates with a much larger scope. Their manager might say, "Our users are complaining that the checkout process is too slow. Can you investigate and fix it?" Notice the difference? The problem is ambiguous. It doesn't point to a specific file. The SDE2 is expected to take this vague problem, investigate the entire checkout flow, identify the bottlenecks, propose a solution, and then implement it. All right, we've talked a lot about what you need to learn. But, theory without a plan is just a dream. You need a practical, repeatable schedule that will help you build these skills consistently over your final year. The key is not to cram everything in a month before interviews. It's really about building a sustainable habit. Let's design a simple weekly blueprint. This is just a suggestion, so feel free to tweak it to fit your own schedule and energy levels. The most important thing is to be consistent. A little bit of effort every day is far more effective than one heroic all-night study session. Let's break down the week. Monday, DSA day. Wednesday, DSA day. Friday, DSA day. On these days, your goal is to solve 2 to 3 LeetCode problems. Start your session with one easy problem to warm up. Then tackle a medium-level problem on a topic you're studying, like graphs or dynamic programming. If you have time, try a hard one or review a problem you struggled with before. The goal is to spend about 90 minutes to 2 hours on focused problem solving. Make sure to actively think about time and space complexity for every solution you write. The recruitment process for an SDE2 role is a multi-stage marathon that tests you from every angle. Understanding it helps you prepare for each stage and reduces anxiety because you'll know what to expect. It usually starts with your application, your resume or a cover letter. Initial screening, automated system. Initial screening, recruiter. If you pass, the first round is an online assessment, or OA. OA is a timed test on platforms like HackerRank or Codility. OA usually has 2 to 3 coding problems solved in 60 to 90 minutes. These problems test pure DSA skills. They check your ability to write correct, bug-free code under pressure. Sometimes there's also an MCQ section on fundamentals. Data structures, algorithms, operating systems, database management systems. Your skills are the product, but your resume, online profiles, and network are the marketing. You could be the best programmer in the world, but if your resume doesn't get noticed, you'll never get the chance to prove it. For an SDE2 role, your resume needs to do more than just list your education and skills. It needs to tell a story of impact and ownership. Instead of just saying you worked on a project, use action verbs and quantify your achievements. For example, instead of built a feature for a college project, try designed and implemented a real-time chat feature using WebSockets, reducing server polling by 90% and improving user engagement. Your online presence is your digital resume. The first thing a recruiter or hiring manager will do after seeing your resume is Google you. What will they find? Make sure your LinkedIn profile is complete and professional. Write a clear headline that says what you are and what you're looking for, like final year CSE student, aspiring software engineer, skilled in Python. Share interesting articles and post about the projects you're working on. The journey to becoming an SDE2 right out of college is challenging. It's not just a test of your technical skills. It's also a test of your mindset and your resilience. You are going to face rejections. You might fail an online assessment for your dream company. You might have a brain freeze during a technical interview. It happens to everyone, even the most senior engineers. The key is not to let these setbacks define you. Treat every failure as a data point. After that, get analytical. What went wrong? Did you struggle with a type of DSA problem? Did you find it hard to communicate your thought process? If nervousness, mindfulness techniques, or more sleep. Adopt a growth mindset. Failures become lessons. This is a marathon, not a sprint. The tech industry constantly evolves. Be a lifelong learner. Your degree is just the starting point.